It says Congressional Reconstruction, the radical Republicans plan to change the South. All right, today the color is purple. We'll be doing color purple. At the end of this, there is a link. At the end of this for our DOL, there's going to be a link in which you guys go into quizzes, and that will be your DOL. Make sure you write your name appropriately. Do not put anything weird or disgusting as your name. Plus, this is for a grade, so I need to know who am I going to give 100 to or who I am going to give a 0 to. So make sure your actual name is on the quizzes. Okay, let's continue. Remember, the color is purple today. We should have had this done by now. That's the first thing we did. So we're going to move on to the next part. So, what are we learning today? Today we'll be looking at the effects of congressional reconstruction when the radical Republicans of Congress took over Reconstruction for President Andrew Jackson. Yesterday, when we looked at it, we saw that Andrew Jackson was not doing a great job. He was not. He was letting the South get away with way too many things. Way too many things. So what they ended up having to do, especially Congress mainly, they took the power away from him and decided they would take charge. So we're going to see that some of the problems that we have with Andrew Johnson, are going to be fixed by Congress. All right? So today, before we start anything else, let's look at some soldiers. This was after the war. After the war, many soldiers received the Medal of Honor. These two are the ones that you need to know. I promise you, you do need to know these. All right? William Carney, yes, it might not have been in purple, but yes, William Carney, you copy down. He was the first African-American soldier to receive an award. All right? He was being fired upon when he got the award. Well, not the award. As he was being fired upon, he grabs the American flag and saves some other people in the process. At the end, he is very severely wounded. So William Carney, first African American to receive the award. Philip Bazar, he bravely entered a room filled with soldiers. Filled with soldiers. He enters the room and he is able to assault all of them, kill them. And he is greatly doing this, and he greatly does. Does he get injured? Of course he does. But he makes it out alive, right? You have to understand, the Medal of Honor is only to those people that do some of the greatest things in battle. So these two greats contributed to the Civil War by beating the South. That's William Carney and Philip Bazar. Looking for today. We're looking for the differences between congressional reconstruction and presidential reconstruction. I promise you, there will be some great differences. Remember, Andrew Johnson didn't really do anything. The South got away with much. We're going to see how that is going to be different with the congressional. Effects of congressional reconstruction on the South, especially the African American community. We're going to see that African Americans have to do a lot with this. All right, so as we discussed yesterday, the word reconstruction, or we might not discuss it, but the word reconstruction means to rebuild. We are rebuilding the South. After the war, many of the people that want to go back to their homes cannot, because a lot of soldiers from the North actually attacked the South. They burned their houses, they burned their cities, and they left it like that. Now we have to rebuild that. How are we going to rebuild it? Because if you remember the last time we saw, Abraham Lincoln had died. He had a plan. He's dead now. What's going to happen? All right? But we still passed the 13th Amendment, which says what? You should know this by now. What is the 13th Amendment? Remember, it frees the slaves. Under this leadership, we see the South emerge of black codes. That's with Andrew Johnson. That was him. Yesterday we saw that. Thanks to him, many of African Americans are not being treated equally. It's kind of worse than slavery at times. But Congress helps out with the Freeman's Bureau, which helps adjust a new way of life to slaves. So you copy this. Congressional Reconstruction. We already see the differences. When we went back, we saw that presidential Reconstruction, he didn't do much, and we're going to see a lot of the difference when it comes to radical. Okay, during radical Republicans were against the way Johnson handled Reconstruction. I told you they did not like how he was being too easy on the South. Congress' platform was to punish the South and provide relief and rights to freed slaves. They impeached Andrew Johnson. Impeach means to forcibly remove. So I like to think of it like this. When I was a little kid, if I did anything bad, and this was in a family environment, I mean that by that I mean my uncles and anybody else was there. This is what happened. Let's say I accidentally threw soda on the carpet. My mom would get mad, yes. All she would tell me is she would get mad, and I would, yeah, you're gonna be punished afterwards. But my uncles, they were a little to the extreme. They would say, no, hit him. He punish him, hit him. All right? So, in this case, I am like the South. I did something stupid. I threw soda on the carpet. The South decided to do what? Secede. They seceded. That was the stupid thing. All right? My mom is like Andrew Johnson. I know there's going to be a punishment, but it's going to be through her, and she's probably not going to be that harsh, so it's going to be okay. And since I am the South, I know that it's going to be a decent punishment. Not the greatest, but it's okay. My uncles are like the North, because they are telling my mom to hit me. And if my mom doesn't hit me, it might hit me. So do you see now? The North really wants to punish the South. Andrew Johnson doesn't do his job and doesn't punish the South. So the North, especially Congress, takes his job away from him. Andrew Jackson is impeached. They take him out of office because he's not punishing them enough. So when they do that, Congress begins to punish them. How do they punish them? Let's check it out. Remember, copy the purple. We're going to skip that for right now. Sorry, we went too far. There you go. It says Congressional Reconstruction. The Congress decided to divide the South into 5 military districts. They were forced to follow military law. It is like this. You guys each are in a floor. Each grade is in a different floor. 7th grade is in 2nd. You guys are in 3rd floor. 6th grade is in 1st. Each one has their own commander. In this case, it is the principal. You guys have Miss Davis. You decided she's strict. That's up to you. You answer on your own. So imagine having a commander like Miss Davis in each section, in each floor, every year. So how do you think of it? 5 military leaders were like that. They had to make sure everything was right and correct. They had to be strict, of course. They did have to be strict. And they were very strict on the South. And the South hated it. All right? And they hated the fact that it passed the 14th and 5th Amendment. All right. So they just thought it was too radical for them. Lincoln wouldn't have done this, they said. Lincoln wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have been as harsh. Johnson for sure wouldn't have been as harsh. But things had to change. So you guys would have to write out the end something, but it's fine. What I want you guys to go ahead and do is do the DOL, which is going to be quizzes. This is what you do to go to the DOL. Okay, you're going to go to lessons in my website. Then you're going to, once you go to lessons, actually, no, you go to extras, I'm sorry. You go to extras, and in extras, you see a click that says Reconstruction. You press on that, and that will take you to quizzes. And then you put the code up there, and you'll see it. All right? See you in a bit.